Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Thank you very much, Ken. Welcome to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. I'm your host, Josh Taylor, in tonight for Bob Pompiani. Joining me in studio from 93.7 The Fan, the Cook and Joe Show. Also, columnist for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Ron Cook, joins me in studio. And Ron, you came down straight from PPG Paints Arena.
I did.
There for the Penguin game. So let's get into that. Of course, Penguins lose to Montreal 4-1, but bigger story, Tristan Jarry, back-to-back shutouts coming into this game, was on a pretty good streak as far as shutout hockey goes. That streak came to an end in the second period. You confirmed the number for me.
177-15, 177 minutes, 15 seconds. Franchise record. I mean, a franchise that has had Barrasso and Fleury and Murray. And he ended up, I guess Thomas Vakoun had the record, and it was broken tonight. They played a real strong first period, led 1-0, and then we haven't seen Malkin too many times take dumb penalties. He took one tonight, a slash in the offensive zone midway through the second period. They turned it into a power play. Tatar, when Marino lost control of the puck, a bouncing puck, and from then on it was all Montreal. Letang had a bad giveaway that led to a goal, and then a wraparound goal by Shea Weber where Marino couldn't stop him from going around the net, and Letang couldn't get there to protect Jarry, and it was a loss. That not a very good second period. That's when they lost it. But you know, I guess we shouldn't complain too much. They're now 7-4-3 without Sid. That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
I was going to get to that next, and when you look at just how these games are going, no Sidney Crosby and a lot of injuries kind of sprinkled in besides him here and there. Mike Sullivan talked about it before the game. He talked about how many guys from their supporting cast, those secondary guys, have been chipping in lately, how much of a difference that's made.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have Hornquist in and out. Bukestad is out, obviously. Sid is the big loss, and then Dumoulin. I mean, these guys are key parts of their team, and a lot of the other guys. I don't think Marino had a very good night. I think Letang had an awful night tonight. It happens, and again, Malkin's penalty just turned the whole thing around.
Especially when you're relying on guys like John Marino and even Chad Ruhwedel, who had a goal over the weekend. So you're looking at even down to the defensive pairings where you're relying on other guys, because Ruhwedel was a guy who didn't get a sweater much the first month and a half of the season, but now he's starting to get minutes. But even when you look at all of that and how they were able to put some of these wins together, go to St. Louis, beat the defending champs, or excuse me, come back home and do it here after losing there, but beating the defending champs here on your own home ice on national TV. There's a lot to be said for how they're pulling this off and the way they're able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought they could hang in there like this without Sid. And it's a long season, and if you get to the playoffs, and they're in great shape right now, you get to the playoffs, you get Sid back, you get these Dumoulin back maybe, Hornquist, then maybe you get a pretty good lift going down the stretch. But they got to hang in there until then. And tonight didn't help them. It's a bad Montreal team. Now, I know Carey Price is really good, and he had a good, strong game tonight. But there's no way. You got to win those games at home against Montreal.
To your point with the playoffs coming up, even sooner is the trade deadline. Usually when you're in the predicament the Penguins are in, sometimes when you get those guys back, it feels like you made a move at the deadline, especially if you're playing well. But like you said, more to be played definitely before we get to that point. Let's shift gears to Steelers. Mike Tomlin had his press conference today, talked a lot about not only the performance this past game against the Cardinals, but coming up against Buffalo on Sunday night. They're going to face another quarterback, another athletic quarterback that can run in Josh Allen. Mike Tomlin believes it's going to present some challenges for them. But your opinion, after what you saw this past week against Arizona, does it make you feel better about what they might be able to do against Buffalo?
Yeah, I mean, obviously now Tomlin said today that Allen even has more design runs than Kyler Murray did. But I thought they did a great job controlling Murray. I thought he almost broke one. Hargrave reached out and just tripped him. He might have gone 75 yards on that play. I think it was a penalty anyway. But they've done the best job all year basically against Lamar Jackson. So I think they're going to be up to the challenge for Allen. This defense is really good, just playing lights out right now, the turnovers and sacks. That's a big reason they're 7-1. The only game they didn't really get sacks and turnovers was the one they lost. They had one sack at Cleveland, and that was it.
Now, with that said, moving to the other side of the ball, a lot of injuries there at the skill positions. They're down to guys like Deion Kane and Deontay Johnson, trusting those guys to make plays. But we saw in Arizona, we put Doug Hodges in that group too, and even Kareth White. These guys are getting in here, taking opportunities and running with them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say enough about what the guys that really don't necessarily belong in the starting lineup, what they're doing, and I include Duck in that. Obviously, the running backs, White and Kane, and I mean, it's been very impressive what they've been able to get done, but they got to do better. They've had one offensive touchdown in 5 of the last 6 games. Your defense can't always carry you. You got to score a few more points.
And it doesn't help them that they're facing a pretty good Buffalo defense.
Really good
that's
Buffalo
coming to town.
I don't think it's as good as this one, though.
Point taken. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll go to the Xfinity Sports Desk. We got some tweets. We got some phone calls we'll take. 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. See you in a few.
The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.